Hi guys, this is Dave Bennett with Themed.html.com. It is October 4th, 2016, and I want to cover something we've been talking about for quite a while, and this is leveraging and efficiency. Here's what I mean. We took 16 websites we'd created for a client a long time ago, a couple of years ago, and we hadn't gotten to them in a while, and then we came back to them recently to kind of pick back up the slack and get going and do something with them. And so when we did, we started promoting or creating backlinks for one or another of them. Horse barns, for instance, maybe another one as well, I think structures. And rather suddenly, a bunch of these took off, a bunch of the 16, and all of a sudden, several of these websites had strong domain authority and page authority on page after page after page. We were pretty confused at first. It was like, why was it so thorough and so even? So we took a closer look. Let me just kind of show you what we saw and what the cause of it was, because it's very strong for leveraging results. So I just went to a bulk domain authority checker real quick and ran it, and this is what I got. Okay, so I'm looking at the domain authority, page authority, and the MOS rate. Sort of a trust factor of these different 16 websites. So if I were to take these, for instance, and just copy, okay, and I were to, let's see, paste them in Excel, get rid of stuff I don't need, expand the rest. Okay, remember, this is page authority, or domain authority, and then page authority, and then MOS rate, sort of a trust factor. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, because I'm looking, I'm seeing some high results, some low results. So let's just do a sort, okay? And now that we did a sort, all right, we're seeing a very clear line drawn between these two. So let me just sort of break this up. So we're seeing about 8 sites up here, and then the rest are down here. Now, of these sites that are up here, one of them seems to have been promoted some other way because it's got a whole different result. It's got no MOS rank. It's got one for a page authority on the main page. So let's just yellow this one out and say that something else is happening there, whatever it is, or at least it's an anomaly. It's not following the trends, but the rest seem quite similar. They have very similar scores. Okay, so the question is, if we were promoting one of these, why are all of them getting the benefit? See, that's really important. Why? Normally, if you're going to go shove any one website up to a page authority of 33, okay, you might spend 500 bucks or $1,000 getting that done. All right, you might just, or you're going to put a lot of hours in yourself, maybe 10 or 15 or so, okay, to drive a domain authority so high. So if you're thinking, well, okay, if one site's going to cost me, $500 to $1,000, then this is another 500 to 1,000, another 500 to 1,000, and so on. But say you're doing several websites, okay, because either you're doing them for various things that you're selling for yourself, or for other clients, or just working up a cluster of sites, either to promote one in particular, or you're creating a bunch of websites intentionally to have good domain authority and page authority so that you can sell off advertising, rent out links, or whatever it is that you're going to do. Okay. Having said all that, whatever the reasons are, the question is, how can we leverage the effort of working with a bunch of related websites so we don't have to spend so much money? That's exactly where we stood. We thought, oh, okay, what happened here? We were just curious. So can we find something in common about all of these, with the exception of our anomaly? And we did. Let me give you an example. Let me go to one of these websites in particular. So I went to Horse Barns by Waterloo. And when you're looking at the website, again, we did this a couple of years ago. It may not look like much, but it's very cool, and we have more to do with it. But one of the things we had fun doing with was shoving up page speed, full steam. But here you go. There's our domain authority of 33. Okay, domain authority of 33. And then our page authority of 37. And our MOS rank of 6.27. Okay. Now, what else is happening here? And that's this. See these links in the sidebar? These are for the different sites. Okay, so if we hover over this, this is for two-story garages by Waterloo. This is for two-story sheds. This is a backyard by Waterloo, all different websites. Okay, and we can click any one of these to go to the website. Okay, and that's exactly what it does. Now, let me point out what's interesting about going to the other website as well. Let me scroll down. There's a sidebar, and guess what? All of the websites are in here, including our Horse Barns by Waterloo. Okay, and if we were to go to any one of these other websites, same sort of effect. We've got our sidebar with the different websites in them. Now let me come back and point this out. Okay, let's do a match. What's this one? Two-story garages by Waterloo. Is it in the top section or the bottom section? That's what I want to do. I want to figure out which ones are in the top, since the domain authority is high. That's two-story two-story garages by Waterloo. It's in the top. Two-story sheds by Waterloo. It's in the top. Backyard by Waterloo. It's in the top. Garages by Waterloo. Also in the top. Horse Barns by Waterloo, that's here, that's in the top. And it doesn't matter if you have a link to your own site. All these have a link to its own site, and several of these are links to the same page. Okay. What about this? Sheds by Waterloo. That's also in the top. And structures by Waterloo. So the only thing that is not in this list that's in the top is our sheds for sale in Emily. So whatever's happening there is something different. We'd have to go look at that separately. But now we've untangled the relationships here. This sidebar is on every page of this website, I believe. 4,240 pages, okay? And if we look, page authority, okay? High, pretty high, pretty high, pretty high for lots and lots of these pages, okay? And just kind of look into this stuff. We're still seeing strength on these tops. So we're carrying over some nice strength from different results that we're getting. Okay. And not just that, but again, if we go to any one of these and take a look, okay. Again, a page authority of 8, and it's a deep internal HTML page, some ways in the Pennsylvania folder of this website. And here you have it. Okay, this is exactly what's causing all this to happen. The relatedness between these pages for these terms, for these topics here, or the links, are all backlinking each other all together in a group. What's really funny is the customer took this thing out earlier, and now we're thinking about putting it back in customer lobby, just for people thinking about this kind of thing. Let me give you another one. When we look at the whole list here, that's 15 root domains total are involved in that, in backlinking this website. Okay, 35,491 links. Okay, and a lot of them with high scores on those different websites. And take a look, that's just it. Structures by Waterloo, sheds by Waterloo, garages by Waterloo, backyard by Waterloo, two-story garages. Anytime you wonder whether creating backlinks in other websites actually works and points back at you and helps your rank, okay, here's the living proof. This is the point. Low spam scores, all in the green, okay, for our websites with thousands of pages, all with high domain authority and page authority, covered by a single backlinking job. And then maybe a little of extra backlinking here and there, but not much, not really. That's the point. One large backlinking run on one of the websites is carried over to a lot of the other websites, pretty much everything we linked to, and rose their rank. Now, what do we know and what don't we know? We don't know how many domains we can do that with. We know we put a lot of effort in, so probably if it all just got captured in one website, then maybe the page authority of that one website would be 45 by now, maybe 50. Again, it's a logarithmic scale. The higher we climb on, domain authority, okay, it's a logarithmic scale, the harder it is to continue climbing, right? But nonetheless, 33 is not silly, it's not small, it's a really good number. And when you can reach that on several websites at the same time, that's a lot of value. Why do you want this particular number to increase on your website? Because the higher this number is, the more you control how well this website can show up for a certain keyword. Okay, you can choose a page on it, and you can decide to make it about a certain topic, and that can really help you raise the rank. Now, what is one of the untapped, probably the largest single untapped advantage of all these pages? Because this was years ago, again, when we did the run, and we didn't look into this sort of thing the way we do now. I'll give it to you this way. Ready? Here we go. Okay, we've got a YouTube video. Okay, it's a no follow link because it's from YouTube. All YouTube links are no follow links, and it goes here. Okay, it's got a link here, and it's showing the link anchor text. Okay, by the way, no follow links are incredibly useful. They're useful because humans see them and go, and even if we're not going to pass the link juice through, if YouTube's not doing that, what it's doing is still indicating that it has a link to the site. So that is a popularity measure. Google is looking for a lot of the links going to your site being no follow, as well as a lot of links being follow. Okay, there's natural activity, and that's what Google expects to see. All right, and then these. Now, all those pages, 35,491. What mainly got missed? The anchor text for the individual links. What does that mean physically? That means when you look at these sidebar items, they do point at the site, and it's how we got the domain authority up in the first place. The untapped advantage is this one could have said something like two-story garages. This one could say two-story sheds. You know, when you hover over the images, okay? And one could say whatever it could say, you know, backyard structures. Okay, we can decide what the alt coding should be. Now, if I were to right click and hit inspect, that's where you can physically see where the alt code would be, right? That's just it. We don't have any alt code in there, okay? That was the untapped advantage. So the next job we're looking into right now is going through and fixing that on all these pages, because we have the bulk software and we have the ability to do that with all the pages. The thing that's interesting about all that is this. If we can do this for different, let me see, G-sitemap. If we can do that for the different states individually, think about the value of this. You got Connecticut over here, right? With whatever kind of garages, okay? Let me show you what I mean. Brooklyn, Connecticut, Vinyl Austin garages, okay? Then think about this. This is Connecticut. What can we do with this? Two-story garages by Waterloo. Guess what? We have a Connecticut section over there too. So why couldn't this link point at the Connecticut main page on that website, and this link point at the Connecticut main page on that website, and that link point at the Connecticut main page on that website, etc., etc. That's how you get your page authority going to each page, or at least the main pages of the website. So for instance, that would physically mean, let me go back, okay, that I can really optimize and say that the website is available in this state, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that. And I can use the alt coding as votes for each of those locations, for each of those keywords we want to go after. So when you have 30-odd thousand links to work with, you can vote for lots of related keywords. And if you have that on domain authorities that are high, with page authorities that are high, you're carrying a lot of weight in your favor. And if you can produce that result on a number of websites all at once with a single backlinking job that costs 500 or 1,000, okay, then that's great. And that's the kind of thing that we're starting to understand and do right now. Our future productions are going to be stacked productions of websites working together for anyone that wants to do that, because the strength is dramatically more than doing a single website alone, and dramatically more useful when it comes to getting a backlinking job that benefits everything. Okay, we can organize the way that we interlink between the sites we create for somebody and come at the topic from all these sub-market angles and really nail it in. Okay, so this is something that's scalable. How many websites would you want to get at once? Would you want to get one? Well, then it's just a backlinking job is going to cover the one website, right? 500 or 1,000 is going to cover the one website. You're going to get two. then your backlinking job, 500 or 1,000, can cover 2 websites at the same time. That way you don't have to buy a second one separately. Okay, unless you're, of course, just growing more, you're going higher, you're pushing for a lot more websites. Okay, you're going for a bigger project, right? And so on and so forth. So how many would you want to get at once? Okay, so for figuring out what kind of a project we can do with you, you can give me a call. We can talk it through, figure out what the pricing would be on your projects and how many websites you'd want. And that way we can come up with a plan for building you a massive presence at once. And again, when you have it, what can you do? Well, you can be the guy who's getting paid because you have all this domain authority. You can rent out websites that have domain authority. You can sell them on flippa.com if they have high domain authority. Websites with good domain authority that are not spammy are very powerful and they are worth money. Okay, and so this is the sort of service we're going to produce now. If we do a 10 website production for you, we're going to have some sort of minimum. Every website will have a domain authority of at least 30, okay, every one of them, all right? And we're going to link across those sites, deep link smartly, all coding, link title, text. We can do it with in-content link formats to interlink between the sites. We can get links into the menu if it makes sense for related products. Okay, we can no follow whichever links and keep the other links followed, and we can set up rules for canonical URLs throughout all those structures so that we can really dial the way link juice flows into particular pages site by site by site. Okay, I hope you found this video interesting. Get a hold of me for any sort of project you want so that we can see what we can do with you. That's T2HA. Okay, and you can hit the contact us, and you can go ahead and send us a message, or you can give me a call. Okay, this is Dave with T2HA. Thank you very much.